The silence in the council chamber was so thick you could feel it. Chairs that once held human delegates were now empty, and their absence screamed louder than any threat ever spoken. Humanity left, like that. No grand final speech. No last-ditch plea for reconsideration. They just stood up, walked out, and vanished from every station, every network, every corner of the council's influence. It looked peaceful. It wasn't. The council thought it was a bluff. They assumed humanity would come crawling back once the pressure of isolation mounted. They were certain that humans, a relatively young species, were utterly dependent on the galactic network. Every single one of those beliefs was wrong. Just hours after the walkout, the first cracks appeared. Trade hubs, once bustling with efficiency, slowed to a crawl. Delays became the new normal. Ambitious research projects, once spearheaded by human insight and creativity, ground to a halt without a single word of dispute. Entire sectors began to feel the immense weight of their departure. Human crews had maintained the deep space patrol routes. Now, those vital arteries of the galaxy drifted into chaos. Pirate fleets once kept in check moved in with predatory speed. Frontier colonies, suddenly exposed, flooded the network with desperate distress calls. The quiet stability humanity had provided simply dissolved. The reports piled up in the silent chamber. Medical grids lost their most versatile specialists. Terraforming projects on developing worlds fell years behind schedule. Minor border skirmishes, once de-escalated by human diplomats, exploded into full-blown conflicts demanding heavy intervention. The Council was beginning to understand. They had relied on a species they consistently dismissed and belittled. Human engineers had been the unseen hands-running systems others believed were fully automated. Now, those systems were stalling. Maintenance protocols failed one by one. Power grids across core worlds saw their output drop. The grand illusion of a self-sustaining galactic order was collapsing right before their eyes. Then, days later, a human data relay blinked to life. It didn't broadcast a voice or a farewell message. It just sent a single, curated archive. It contained records of council meetings where human warnings about structural decay were ignored. Notes where innovative human ideas were dismissed as inconvenient. Video footage of moments where their hard-won contributions were shamelessly claimed by other delegates. There was no anger in the message. No hint of revenge. There was only the cold, hard truth. Humans didn't leave out of rage. They left because they saw things with perfect clarity. They finally understood there was no value in staying where their work, their very presence, was met with disrespect. Their silence wasn't a passive retreat. It was a precise, calculated action. Worlds that had once treated humanity as expendable were now forced to live with the consequences of that assumption. Trade routes fractured. Security disintegrated. Scientific progress stagnated. The galaxy began to feel smaller, darker, and infinitely more dangerous. The delegates gathered again. This time, not to debate policy, but to confront the devastating impact of their own arrogance. Without humanity, the galactic structure they had built didn't collapse in an instant. It decayed, slowly, visibly, and with absolute certainty. Whispers turned to panicked shouts across member worlds. Where did the humans go? What were they planning? Would they ever return? Fear, not hope, fueled every question. Some species blamed each other. Some blamed the humans. Some blamed the very structure of the Council itself. But none of it mattered. None of it solved anything. The human relay continued its broadcast on a loop, a constant reminder of the truth they could no longer ignore. Humanity had been the quiet, stabilizing force no one bothered to recognize, not through military might, not through overwhelming force, but through simple, consistent action. Through their willingness to fill the gaps others wouldn't. Through an initiative that everyone else took for granted. Now, the galaxy was forced to live inside the vacuum they left behind, a vacuum that grew wider and deeper with each passing day. Months, passé the absence, became a new, uncomfortable normal. Other species scrambled to fill the roles humans had handled so effortlessly, but none could match their unique adaptability. No one could fill the gaps with the same speed or ingenuity. In the end, the Council came to one undeniable conclusion. Humanity hadn't punished them. They hadn't even warned them. They had simply left, and the galaxy, in all its supposed wisdom, had not been prepared to live without them.